While the ballots are still being counted and irregularities are still being investigated in numerous key swing states, the Democrats and their allies and the media are rushing to coronate Joe Biden as the winner of the election. Joining me now is someone who isn't letting that go unchecked. Please welcome GOP national spokesperson Liz Harrington. Liz, thank you very much for joining us on the Benny Report.
Thanks for having me.
So, Liz, give me an update as to right now where all of these legal battles sit. There has been some major breaking news about Supreme Court rulings in Pennsylvania, court rulings in Pennsylvania that may reach the Supreme Court. Let's talk about that first.
Right. So it's very clear here that the governor, Democrat governor, and the Democrat-leaning state Supreme Court in Pennsylvania went outside of the bounds of the Constitution and allowed ballots to be counted up to 3 days after Election Day. In essence, they extended Election Day for 3 days. And that clearly violates the Constitution because there was a stalemate in the state legislature between the Democrat governor, Tom Wolf, and the Republican majority there. And they did not change the law. And that's in the Constitution that you have to go through the state legislature. That's the only body that sets rules for our elections, each state. And so it's very clear. We already had Samuel Alito, Supreme Court Justice Alito, issue a ruling that these ballots that they were counting for up to 3 days after Election Day have to be segregated. And keep in mind, all of these ballots, 600,000 of them, were counted illegally, not just because it's unconstitutional, but also because they blocked out our poll watchers. So again, if Democrats have nothing to hide here, if there's such a miraculous comeback for Joe Biden, who is down 15 points on election night in Pennsylvania, who is down almost 700,000 votes, which all of these ballots, they counted almost the exact same differential, then why don't they want the sunlight shown? Why did they block our poll watchers? Why did they defy court orders, which required Republican poll challengers to be present? And so the onus is on them. They haven't answered any of these questions. Big tech is censoring any time we raise these questions. You know, we keep calling it irregularities, but there's actually nothing irregular about the behavior of corrupt media organizations, corrupt big tech organizations censoring us, big media trying to coronate the Democrat and being so biased in favor of them and memory holding these very real, valid allegations against showing their corruption. There's really nothing irregular about it, but we're going to continue to fight them in court legally to make sure Americans have confidence in this election. That is what this is all about.
Yeah, isn't that the point, right? Is that we all want a legitimate leader. You want a legitimate election. And Republicans behave like adults, and if you lose, then you lick your wounds and you come back next time and you learn. But you are dealing right now with a party that has not accepted this president for the last 4 years as a legitimate leader. And even now, they're not behaving like winners. And this is so strange, Liz, because the Democratic Party is just not behaving like they won. They're behaving like they have something to hide. What is the worst example, most glaring example you see and you've seen right now from the RNC war room for the case for election fraud in these states?
Well, it is blocking out the poll watchers, but it's also blocking out the oversight of this software company. So in Michigan, the Trump campaigns filed a lawsuit trying to get human access because this Dominion software was used in Antrim County. And the reason why it was discovered is because that's a very GOP-heavy county. And they said, well, wait a second, Joe Biden won this county by a really big margin. That doesn't make any sense. So they took a closer look. And in Antrim County, actually, there were 6,000 votes that were supposed to go to President Trump that went to Joe Biden. And they called this a human error. They called this a software glitch. They're not giving a clear answer here. But this software was used in 47 other counties, as well as Wayne County, which is the biggest one with Detroit, where we're seeing all of these allegations of ballots coming in the middle of the night through the back door, allegations of out-of-state license plates. There's so many egregious, corrupt allegations that are coming out that we also need to shine a light on. But why is Jocelyn Benson, the Democrat Secretary of State, saying, no, we don't need a second look? This was just an honest mistake. Well, okay, if it's such a big, glaring mistake, this also happened in Rochester Hills, where they said a Democrat local commissioner candidate won by about 100 votes. In fact, she lost by over 1,000 votes. There's already two very egregious examples of this that luckily we caught, but they're not letting us look to catch any more. And this software, as you know, as you reported in your excellent monologue, which really documented a lot of what's going on in all these different swing states, shows that this software has been used by countless other swing states. And why is it that Joe Biden did not overperform anywhere except where the Democrats needed him to? And that's why we just want to shine a light on this. If it's a free and fair election, right, Democrats should have nothing to hide.
That's right. There's no better disinfectant than sunlight. Liz, thank you so much for your work on casting sunlight on this election.